Hey guys, well, finally happened. My wife got a flat tire. Yep, we went out to ride today, and when we were coming back, I kind of noticed that it looked like it was getting a little low on air, and it's probably good that we came on back because it definitely was losing air. Found a spot, got a little puncture right there. So what I thought I'd do is I'd go ahead and show y'all how to remove the rear wheel using my tool. Okay, this is the tool I made to spread the rear fork out so I can get the wheel. It takes the tension off of the fork from pressing in on the rear axle. So I've previously did a video on how I made this and how to use it and everything. So what I'm going to do now is demonstrate how to use it. And this is the piece right here. I made these and they go together once you get it through the bike, like so. And then you take this bolt and you tighten it on up. Okay, go ahead and try to position it properly. So I've got it in place. And I'm going to line these two up. And right here, this little piece right here, I'm going to take a clamp and I'm going to clamp it with one of my clamps. And clamp the other side. That way it stays in place and it doesn't move all around on you. So let me get those. Okay, now I've got the two clamps to hold it in place. Clamp on either side, that way to stabilize it. Now what I want to do is take this nut, this mechanism right here, and I'm gonna, before I undo anything, I'm gonna get a little bit of tension. I'm gonna get a little bit of tension on this nut. Take that screw nut, tighten it up. And what I'm going to do now, I found out that it just makes life a little bit simpler if I go ahead and disconnect my caliper, my rear brake caliper, go ahead and get it out of the way. I found out that just helps when I try to, especially when I try to put the wheel back on, because it's very hard to get it aligned and get all three things aligned, get your fork on both sides aligned and that caliper aligned. So I just go ahead and I remove it. Okay, I've got the caliper out of the way. And if you also notice, I've got my little jacks, right, my little handlebar stands right there. They just came in today. Handlebar jacks, which, you know, timing couldn't be better for them to come in. I just hate that I have to use them this soon. But anyway, there they are. Okay, let's remove the cap. You have a cap on either side. You want to remove your cap first. The cap on the opposite side has a wire running through it. So you want to work this one off and get it off up the wire, get it out of the way. And if you also notice that this is slotted, and so the axle won't fit in there one way. Note that the exit of the wire points in the downward, that direction. So when you put it back on, make sure that you have the bend in the wire going pretty much up and toward the front. Okay, so I've got that out of the way. And what you want to do now, these are 18 millimeter nuts. So get the proper wrench and loosen those nuts. Before I do that, I need to disconnect my wire right here. See this couplet? Bunch of plastic lock ties around, because with this bike you're going to have to cut them and put them back in. So what you might want to do, if you've got bad eyesight like I do, is go ahead and mark this thing. So when you put it back in there, you know that it's aligned. So now I've got it loose. And take my wrench again. Get the other side. Okay. Make sure both of them are loose enough that you're not creating any friction. I want to go ahead and get your guard and just get it out of the way. Just don't forget to put it back in. Okay, there you go. Now I just tighten up my spread a little bit. Okay, on the brake disc side of your hub, you've got a little keeper here. You need to take that keeper off. So So let's get that off. Okay. Still don't have it spread tight enough yet. So, okay, once you get it spread, like I've got it spread now, got the tension, I got my wheel out. It's not easy now, even with the spread, it's still a little bit hard, but I got my wheel loose. Okay, once you get your wheel loose, to get it out, you're going to have to take the tension off of the spreader. So just the reversal, just loosen that spreader up. Make sure your wheel stays out. It doesn't get wedged back into the fork. So make sure it's up enough so when you release the tension, it doesn't spring back on it. Okay, get that out. Now, got to get the other one out. Okay, now I've got that out. Now my wheel's loose. So I can go ahead and that's how you get your wheel out. Not to say it's very easy. Okay, now the fun part, getting the tube out. All right, let's make sure, let's get the valve stem out of the tube first of all. Okay, we got the stem out. So now we don't have any air pressure. I used a can down here to set my hub on. Takes about a 6-inch diameter can will work. One thing I've noticed that a lot of your standard tools don't work too well with these 20-inch wheels, especially with these big hubs. They just don't quite seem to work exactly right. Okay, got the tube out. Okay, now I marked where the hole was. The hole was right here. Inspect that. It looks, didn't damage the tire. It just was like it was a clean puncture. I can't even tell on the inside. I don't see any damage at all. All right, now I'll blow the tire up. See where the hole is. Line this up. Should be right over here. There's my puncture mark. Puncture mark is here. It should be right in that area right there. Okay, I'm going to put the valve stem back in it just to hold the air. Okay, and of course, there goes the stem, goes the hole where the hole was, and right there, if you can hear it, but the air is coming out, it's right there. So I know where the hole is. Right there. That's where my hole is. Right inside that circle. Now I'll get my patch. Rough up the area a little bit. I'll let the air back out. Patch. Put it over the hole. Now reinsert your tube. Take some care when you put it back in here so you don't get too many folds in your tube. Like it's pretty flat. Get my valve stem lined up. feed your valve stem through. Now that I got the valve stem through, I can put my rest of my tire on. Now these big tires are not as hard as to put on as some of your smaller bike tires are. They can just about do it all. This is the first tire that I've done probably in maybe 10 years or more since I worked on my tires. Just that I haven't been doing any cycling. Okay, now it's back on. Make sure that you have got your valve stem lined up and it's not tilted any. Because if it is, it puts a little strain on that valve stem, and over time that could cause a problem. Now with the valve stem still out of it, I'm going to put some air in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, got an elbow here. These tires or valve stems are just seems to be in an awkward position. And what I'm going to do here is put an elbow in it, because the elbow is just so much easier to reach. Put some air in it. Let the air back out of it. And what that'll do is, by letting the air back out of it, it helps to get the, if there are any wrinkles in the tube, that should get it out. Now when you're putting your air in your tire, what you want to do is make sure that that your wheel is centered on your rim, or your tire is centered on your rim. If it's not centered on your rim, you're going to end up with two possible things happening. One, the tube coming out, the tire blowing, and the other one is you'll get a hop in your tire. When it rotates, it won't be completely round, and you'll get a little bit of a hop. So you want to make sure that your tire is seated well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run this one up to make sure it's seated well. Let the pressure on back down. Got to put the valve stem back in it, so I'll go ahead and do that. Just let all my air back out. Okay, the air is out of it now. Go ahead and pop the valve stem back in it. Valve stem back in. What I'm going to do is now check the air pressure. I've got about 22 pounds. That's what I read over there. It's 22 pounds of air in it. I'm going to walk away from this thing. I'm going to check it. Make sure that it's seated well everywhere. So give it a pretty good inspection. Make sure it doesn't look like it's not sealed properly. Okay, I'm going to give it about an hour, and then I'll come back and finish it out. Check, make sure that the pressure is still the same, not leaking. Well, it's been close to an hour. I'm going to check the air pressure, 22 pounds. And it's right at 22 again. So, now for the installation. There's a 6-inch can, which worked real well to set that wheel in to do that work. Okay, now I've got got it in place. So now I've got to get the spreader back in it. So what I'm trying to do now is to reinsert my wheel. What you want to do is make sure that you get your axle in the right position. Okay, it's got a slot on it, on the slot washer. And you want to make sure that that's aligned going into the fork opening. So that's pretty close right there. I don't have it spread out. I don't have it spread out yet. So okay, once I do that, get that in the correct position. Okay, now I get my tool. Got it spread out. Okay, now before I get my axle in place in the fork. I want to make sure that my chain is back in place. So now got my chain. So I want to align the axle up with the fork. What I'll do, if you notice your axle has a flat side to it, grab that side and make sure it's lined up properly to go in. Okay, make sure that we're lined up. Okay, now let's go ahead and get the chain back going just to make sure everything's lining properly. Okay, we got the chain in place. You got this little keeper washer over here on your side that your brake is on, and I've got just slight little drop of Loctite on the screw that holds that washer in place. Okay. Now tighten up this side, 18mm wrench. Okay, got it tight. Now, on this side, don't forget to put the radial guard back on. Goes in behind the washer. Let me just check to make sure that I'm seated properly. Okay. Yes. Okay, get that guard lined up the way that you want it. Okay, once I get this tight, just double check and make sure that you've got the same distance on either side of your fork. And looks like it's aligned with the fork, it's aligned with the funder. Okay, now it's time to remove the spreader. You want all this in place first and set before you remove your spreader, because your spreader keeps tension off of the axle, so you can get all of that done. Okay. That side and that side. Okay, let the spread out. Okay, it's time now to put the caliper back in place. So again, when I'm putting the caliper back in place, I want to put a little bit of Loctite on both of the screws. Okay, so I've got my caliper back in place. Now, okay. Brake seems to be fine. Make sure again that that's tight. That's tight. Now I put my caps back on. Okay, got the cap on. Now I've got to get this on. I made that mark so I can get it aligned. Okay, I've got all that aligned. Okay, if you remember, this had a tie lock down here, strap. So one of those, and it's got a little anchor spot here. Get the sharp edge away from you. All right, and we've got everything back together again. So that concludes my removal of the rear wheel and fixing a flat, patching it, and getting it back on the bike. So hope this has helped. Appreciate y'all watching. Maybe with some luck you won't have to use what I've shown you.